All right, welcome back to the Plant-Based Fitness Secrets podcast, the podcast for vegans, vegetarians, people that want to crush their fitness goals on a plant-based diet. And today we are back with an amazing guest joining us today, our superstar client, April, who's here with us. How are you doing?
I'm very good. Thank you, Fritz.
Awesome. Good to see you. Good to have you. And it's always amazing to get get people like you on that have had such a great journey and have a lot of wisdom to share and there's a lot of experience to share with the listeners, and we we've been really, yeah, grateful to be able to coach you and help you, and excited to have you on. So um yeah, let's do it. So maybe as a start, just so people had a bit of background info, kind of what's your background, like where you from, what do you do every day, right, in your life,
hmm
and then also what's your plant-based story, I guess.
Thank you. Well, I'm April. I am born and raised in Hawaii, and I actually studied art in New York. So I came back to Hawaii after graduating college, and I actually was an Aloha t-shirt designer for a long time. So I made a lot of Aloha shirts. And currently, I am now a freelance artist on my own. I am and also a fitness coach too. So I mostly train in functional fitness, and a lot of my clients are mostly elderly people and people like my parents' age. And I love working with older people, but I did feel like I wanted um, a little more, I guess, refinement of my own nutrition. So that is why I
Hmm.
joined vegan coaching. But I've actually been vegan since 2020, since COVID. And we kind
Very
of,
cool.
during all the shutdowns in America, we kind of took it as an opportunity to try out being vegan. And ever since then, we haven't gone back. It is really fun. We are definitely, me and my husband are definitely vegan for the animals. And there has been a lot of struggle since I think the first time we went vegan during 2020. We were very concerned about health, and we were mostly whole foods plant-based. And I think after about a couple years, like 2 years, we got um, a little overwhelmed by, I guess, the restrictions. So we kind of went straight back into not quite junk food vegan, but completely unrestricted eating. And I think that's what caused me to gain weight uh
Mm.
on a vegan diet, which we were always joking like, oh, it's for the animals, it's for the animals. But I think after a while it got it got to me that I was gaining weight on a diet that most people saw as healthy.
Mm.
So I definitely wanted to make that change for sure.
Yes. Yeah, exactly, that's paradox, right? it's
hmm
it's also when I started this coaching or these pages as well, I realized that, because it happened for me as well, I also gained weight when I went plant-based, which was completely overwhelming for me, and surprising. So has your weight been a problem before that, or did it only, like, your shape kind of only became like a problem, quote unquote, when you started being vegan?
My weight was actually always a problem in my life. So I feel like for most of my life, I struggled greatly with my weight, and I've had history of eating disorder and depression in high school and in college too. So in my adult life, I think I tried to not think about it and not care, which up until we went vegan, I actually was the heaviest I've ever been in my entire life. And I was feeling depressed without knowing it. I was uh, quite unsatisfied with my weight and how large I was. And when I did go through the whole food plant space, I did lose a lot of weight, but it wasn't quite like the body type I was expecting.
Mm,
So I think once I started to get into fitness a little more, that's when I realized that I had a lot more learning to do and a lot more a lot more discovering about different ways of eating for sure. And I I have found that this way of eating with vegan coaching has yielded so far the best results, and I feel and look the best I've ever felt in my entire life.
wow. I love that. That's amazing to hear.
Hmm.
That's exciting. We'll talk more about that later on. Were there other things you said you've done whole food plant-based, but that didn't really yield the physical results you wanted. So did it make you look a bit more like skinnier, I guess, or
Um, I
what look
was
did it create?
I was definitely skinnier, but I think since I was also working out a lot, I was a little bummed that even though I had lost weight, I was not showing any muscles, and
Mm.
I was not happy with that at all.
Yeah, I can imagine. I can imagine. So how did you find us, I guess?
Actually, I saw your interview on The Proof with Simon Hill, and it was just coincidence. I had been off of social media for a very long time because of depression, and once I joined back, I saw that you were very active on Instagram, and I started posting more. This was all last year. It was very, very recent, and um, you just so happened to message me just at the right time that I was considering making another step towards my future with health and nutrition.
Amazing. That sounds great. Yeah, the podcast with Simon is one of my favorites too. My one of my favorites kind of pieces I've created so far. And he's obviously really helped facilitate that and asked me some amazing questions. Okay, great. So then you booked a call with us. And then how did you find that initial kind of consultation call with us?
It was actually very intimidating because I've never interacted anyone within the health and fitness space as big as you. So I was very nervous. I was very new to this sort of community, and uh, I was very happy when you were very friendly, and Marta has been great to work with too. So I feel like I was nervous for no reason, and I'm super happy that this community is so friendly and so welcoming. Everyone always comments and likes everyone's messages on the boards. I love it.
Yes. Amazing. Yeah, it's that's the thing that we want to make sure you have like a safe space, a safe place to share. And because health is a very personal thing, right?
Hmm.
It's it's not always easy, and having a support system that's welcoming and friendly, while also pushing you, of course, to be your best, is
Hmm.
that's very important. So were you still like skeptical after you decided to go with us on the call?
Um, I think I was a little skeptical because I was taught during my coaching training to um, kind of avoid and be wary of advertisements that promoted like body composition changes, and especially if these changes happened quickly. So I've never done this type of program before. I've never done bodybuilding before. So I was definitely skeptical, a little nervous. I didn't quite know how it worked. I only know like textbook versions of how they work, and I didn't know how applicable and how they worked in real life, actually. So I wasn't quite sure what I was going to get, but I see now that it really works.
Awesome. Yes. And I acknowledge you for letting yourself get coached as a coach,
Hmm.
because it's always good to walk the talk. And I also still have a coach. So I need it as well. I want it. So I'm glad you see the
Hmm.
value in that as well. Um, so I was curious. So then when did you realize that like this time, like you said, like finally something works for you? This the diet and the program works. When did you realize that?
I think as I am also, um, I technically have a nutrition coaching certification in America. So I think reading more into it and getting more continuing education units, I was realizing that a lot of people do want body composition changes and including me. So I realized that that was a huge part of my knowledge that I was lacking. So I usually like to experience things first before I give it to any clients or before I give information to any of my friends or family members. So I definitely had to go through the process first. Just like whenever I create workouts or I create anything through commissions, I usually have to do tests before I actually give it to people and before I actually go through any process. So I really wanted to go through this program to see what it's like, to see how hard it is. And I am learning so many new things. And
Hmm.
I realized that it is not hard for me at all to do the macro tracking.
Hmm.
And I love what it's doing.
Amazing. Yeah, it's one of the skills that will stick with you for a long
Yes.
time in your life once you learn it. So going back a bit, what were kind of your initial goals when coming into working with us? What did you want to work on?
I think my main goal was to finally have abs. I've never had abs in my life. I think um, I've always wanted to lose belly fat. I've always had belly fat, and I've had belly fat since like the fifth grade. So I thought it was finally time to feel thinner.
Mm.
And this is actually the first time that I've had abs start showing. So I'm very
Let's go.
pleased. Yeah. But then I think as I started to work more with Marta, I realized that this way is also leading me to my performance goal, which is also to do one pull-up. I have never been able to do a pull-up in my entire life, and I am slowly working on it with strength goals. And also, I think losing the body fat has been getting me closer to this goal. It is just easier to pull a lighter weight.
Amazing. That's beautiful. So you're saying that you've never had abs before and now they're revealing themselves
Hmm.
and you're also getting stronger,
Yes.
right? That's pretty paradox, right? You're getting leaner and you're getting stronger. That's
Yeah.
that sounds like magic, right?
I know it does sound
But that's super
crazy,
cool.
but it definitely, I think because the process has been slow and I've been slowly increasing weight with the workouts, I am getting stronger. I feel stronger. And even though I'm getting smaller, but I love it. I love surprising people.
Yes. Amazing. Yeah, I mean, strength is such a beautiful thing, right? I think it's so underrated. A lot of people only look at the looks, but when you are
Hmm.
strong, you can move things around and you're agile. Like as you're losing fat, you become more agile, right?
Yes.
And then when you then get stronger, you really become this empowered woman that's strong and agile, and I think that's beautiful. Um, so do you feel like this the fat that you've lost, the transformation you've had, do you feel like this is sustainable?
Yeah, I do feel like I can keep this up, especially as I continue with my performance goals. I feel like I now really need to utilize this way of eating in order to maximize my goals of running continuously during the upcoming marathon in the winter. And I just have so many performance goals in mind so that I feel like I can continue to use this way of eating and tweak it a little more depending on my goals too. But I definitely am starting to enjoy myself, and I'm finding a lot more ways to be forgiving, especially some days where I get super busy. I'm not getting as much protein as I wish. I have found ways, I think it's through experience and being able to cook quite on the spot that I have been able to create lots of different recipes and lots of different ways to start incorporating more protein. So that has helped immensely, and it is kind of the thing that I was exactly missing from my life, pretty sure.
That's beautiful. What's your favorite recipe?
My favorite recipe is just a quick and easy seitan. I like using it doesn't taste like chicken version,
Hmm.
except I don't use any oil to cook with it. I just use a better ceramic nonstick pan and I make the seitan into little balls and I cook it usually with hoisin sauce, so it tastes like teriyaki chicken.
Amazing.
Hmm.
Wow. Seitan balls. That's the first time I
Yeah.
hear that. That's amazing. Must be so good. Yeah, it's one of the secret weapons, right? The Seitan. That's that will be one of your and also listeners, one of the go-to protein sources that are tasty. Arguably even tastier than tofu, in my opinion.
Yes,
In some
I think
ways, and also
so.
also better macros as well. But yeah, that's amazing. So, did you have to starve yourself to lose fat?
Oh, not at all. There are some days where when I'm trying to eat all of my macros, I look at my plate and I think, oh my gosh, this plate is huge. I have to eat this. I understand those memes where sometimes the protein bros are like forcing themselves to eat. Um,
Yeah.
I understand that now. There are some days where I think I do notice though if I eat something that is a little more calorie dense, uh, or is higher in carbs and fat, I am not quite as satisfied, and I do need to make up for it in other ways, like a very hefty piece of protein, like the seitan, and that's super filling. But I do notice that if I eat a good amount of protein with every meal, I have not been snacking. I have just been eating quite bigger meals too, which is nice.
That's
I love
nice,
to
right?
eat.
Yes, that's beautiful. So, was it hard for you then to change your lifestyle or your eating habits?
It was not. I think the first time I missed rice, but I think as I started to get used to the cooking and prioritizing protein, I realized I can include rice, I can include bread, I can eat certain desserts too. And actually, I've been able to eat all the desserts as long as I make sure that nutrition is on point otherwise. And I think it has taught me a more balanced way of eating, where
Hmm.
even though I'm prioritizing macros, there are still times for me to go get a vegan soft serve for a special occasion and eat some vegan birthday cake that I know that it's not going to happen every day. So I'm quite happy that I'm still continuing to see results while being a little more open and forgiving with what I eat.
That's amazing. Yeah, that's the key, right? Because then it becomes enjoyable, becomes sustainable, and there's no limits, right? No no foods
Mm-hmm.
that you're not allowed to eat. Um, you can really make it work. And it's actually helpful. I think over the years I've seen a lot of people that go the perfectionist route and the obsessive route.
Mm.
Like no ice cream, never any sweets, any processed foods. No one lasts. Like no one is able to last, and then there's binge eating attacks, and that's also not healthy, right? Um,
Yeah.
so that's great. So when it comes to your transformation, um, when it comes to your life, kind of the impact on your life, were you like how did that kind of impact your lifestyle, or kind of are you able to do things that you weren't able to do before? Tell me more about that.
I think for sure career wise as a personal trainer, it has definitely at least made me look the part a little more. And uh I do think people do take you more seriously as a personal trainer if you look more muscular. So that has definitely helped a lot. And I do notice though that living in Hawaii, I finally feel comfortable and a little more confident going to the beach, which is something that we do on the fly. And I think it has always been my entire life kind of a sore spot where I don't exactly feel the most comfortable in a bathing suit, but now I feel a lot more comfortable and I don't feel as stressed. I don't know if you've ever been out in rough waves, but sometimes it can be hard to get out of a current. So
Mm,
I feel that now I am a lot stronger and I can definitely swim a lot better too. So that's exciting. And
amazing.
yeah, we actually do a lot of outdoor activities. So when we go hiking, I do notice too that I am not getting tired super
Mm,
quickly, which is amazing.
that is
Just a lot
amazing.
of
I'm so jealous.
yeah,
Never been
every
to
day.
Hawaii.
Yes, we have beautiful hikes and beautiful beaches. Please come. And wonderful, wonderful vegan food too.
Wow. Yes. And then if you then have the strength, the endurance, the stamina, and the confidence in your body to do all these things, I mean that's incredible. Must
Yeah,
be like a
it's made,
playground, right?
yes, it's made all these experiences so much more enjoyable. And I think, oh, one of the most practical things about losing weight and feeling better about myself is finally fitting into clothes that I always wanted to wear, and that's super exciting.
That is exciting. I can relate to that as well. So how did the people around you react, like friends or family,
Oh
to your
yeah,
transformation?
they definitely notice. I think because I'm wearing unless they're my clients, they don't really see me in athletic clothes a lot. So a lot of people just think I lost weight. But I think people who see me when we're doing active things definitely do notice like when I'm practicing trying to do a pull-up, still using the band, but working on it. But people will see my back, they'll be like, whoa, your back. There's like so many muscles now. Everything is like super ripped. That looks so cool and feels
Amazing.
good, finally.
Yes. Awesome. That's cool. So when you think about the program itself, and maybe also the process, why do you think some people are unsure about contacting us?
I think maybe they might be afraid of the restriction because I think when a lot of people look at things through social media, they they don't, unless they've been coached before, I think they just assumed that anything that requires body, like that anything that leads to body composition changes requires a lot of restriction and a lot of dieting and a lot of work. And I think a lot of people are not ready to kind of put in that type of work, especially when it comes to just being a little more aware of what you're eating. I do notice that a lot of my friends personally, they kind of just eat whatever they want and they kind of go to restaurants whenever they want. But these are also the same friends who are also not exercising regularly and not quite prioritizing their health as much. They more are in it for the enjoyment. But I do notice that friends that, and including me, that do want to prioritize health and fitness a little more, they have a different mindset, and maybe those type of people would be more open to these type of programs. But yeah, I think people
Yeah, it's a
have
bit
to
of a
realize, yeah, it's not that restricting. It's not
hmm,
about restriction. It's about just recalculating things and reorganizing things, how I look
yes.
at it.
I love that. Yeah, exactly. And the thing is as well, it's I mean, I've done it myself, seen it myself as well. I've had periods where I'm eating more in restaurants and I'm not paying attention to my macros as well as I could have. And I just feel like the energy difference, the stamina,
Yes.
the energy, the focus. So yeah, like you say, that a lot of people maybe think more on what do I lose? Like, okay, I cannot have like drinks every night anymore or every weekend. I mean, you can, right? You can make it work. But I think if we maybe make the switch to thinking about, okay, what do I gain? What is the upside? Like
Hmm.
more energy, more confidence, more better gut health. Then I think it will also be more motivating. Plus, you can still have drinks if you like to, as long as you kind of fit it
Yep.
in.
Yep.
Um,
I've
so
definitely have had a couple drinks, and I've been cutting down though because I am trying to start training for the marathon, but special occasions will happen. But I do think um I do think there is a lot to gain from this process, and I think that's one of the things that is the hardest to describe to people. I think it's easiest for people who have been overweight before to understand that
mm,
there sometimes you just feel trapped, and it is so relieving and so freeing to know that you don't have to be trapped. Like if you do stuff that is beneficial for your body, it it is like a giant, like literally you lose weight, but it is like a giant weight is lifted off your shoulders.
yes, amazing. So what do you think? What are some of the requirements someone should bring when they want to work with us?
I think they should definitely be ready to do some tough workouts. Some of them have been tough, and I like that. But I really enjoy the challenge, and I think people should be aware that it is not easy doing the workouts. And I think people people should definitely, hmm, I think cooking is a great skill, and I think just learning how to do basic basic cooking methods like I don't know, anything higher than a microwave would definitely help putting all of these meals together for sure.
Awesome. Yes. I mean, I'm not a good cook. I'm not a good chef, and it can still work, but like you say, some basic skills would be nice.
Yeah, at least being able to cook seitan would be a real plus because then you can easily
Mm.
throw it in a sandwich, which I hope is a skill that most people have. Sandwiches are great meals, but
Wait, you can eat bread while losing fat? Is that
oh
possible?
yeah, of course. Yeah,
Amazing.
I do love to make my own bread, which
Ooh,
helps a lot. Yes.
that's a dream. I'm just visualizing right now, being in Hawaii, fresh bread,
Oh
ocean
yes.
sounds. That sounds like
Yes.
an amazing combination. It's
Hmm.
beautiful. April, you're definitely an inspiration. Your transformation has been really amazing, and
Thank you.
we're just getting started still, right? We still have a lot of time to crush together,
Oh,
and
yes.
it's been really good to see you and Marta, your personal coach, work together and push each other. And again, it's us that give you the guidance, the coaching, but it's you that shows up, right? You are doing the work, you're making the
Yes.
meals, you're making the choices. So props to you for putting yourself first, putting your health first, and now reaping the benefits from it.
Thank you.
Great
It
job.
feels
Great
great.
work. Yes.